Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and who taught us this truth. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, giving all diligence to make their calling and election sure. All right, so this is the year 2022. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, the elder apostle Tahar has coined this year the year of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, turning up. All right, and that's exactly what's being said here in this article. Okay, because the reality of nuclear destruction, nuclear war, is present. You know, it's more imminent than it's been in recent years. Okay, and as people come to reality with the fact that this thing is a big reality, that this thing could actually happen, which it will actually happen. But as people are waking up to the reality of it, then it's becoming a bit of a shock to people. And the scriptures say that this would happen, that nuclear war would happen. America would be destroyed by ICBM nuclear warheads, which is what you're looking at right here. They come in all type of shapes and forms, but yeah, man. So we're gonna read this article and get some scriptures to see how it ties in. It says a nuclear nightmare not felt for decades. With the collapse of the Soviet Union, I assumed those days were over, right? It says now we find ourselves once again in a world haunted by nightmares of Armageddon, writes Dominic Sandbrook. Ever since the final days of the Second World War, when mushroom clouds rose above the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, mankind has lived in the shadow of nuclear war. All right, because at the time, when America dropped that bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they were feared. That was a flex. They were feared. But now, all the other nations, they have access to these missiles and whatnot. They have access to the same technology, if not better. It says, as a schoolboy in the 1980s, I vividly remember paranoia of the decades that followed. With the collapse, With the collapse of the Soviet Union, I assumed those days were over. But now with Vladimir Putin's chilling announcement that he is putting Russia's nuclear forces on special alert against the West, which is America, we find ourselves once again in a world haunted by nightmares of Armageddon. Yeah, man. And the people over here in America don't realize what their future holds for them. They don't realize what their future holds for them. But real quick, this is the book of Isaiah 14 and 10. It says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. And that's talking about America being put on the same playing field as these other countries. The big flex they had of dropping a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki is a thing of the past. Now these other nations, even Iran, they have nuclear missiles and stuff. So, so they've been brought low. They become as weak as the nations. It says, but now with Vladimir Putin's chilling announcement that he is putting Russia's nuclear forces on special alert against the West, we find ourselves once again in a world haunted by nightmares of Armageddon. It says, should we take Putin's nuclear threat seriously? Hell yeah, you should. It says, shocking as the last few days have been, I struggle to believe he would invite a full-scale war. But nobody who has read about the carnage in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where more than 200,000 civilians are thought to have been killed, can feel remotely complacent. Yeah, man. It says, terrifyingly, today's nuclear weapons are far deadlier than their predecessors, And if you read the National Archives recently declassified Cold War documents, you discover that even in the 1950s and 1960s, the death toll here in Britain after a nuclear exchange was expected to run into the tens of millions. Okay, so I'm going to just stop right there as far as this article go. But you get it, a couple years ago, nobody was thinking about nuclear war. All right, but with prophecy popping off and the Lord doing what he said he would do with Russia, putting them in that old spirit, it's very real. And if you look at this picture right here of Vladimir Putin's face, he's fucking serious. He's serious, man. He's sure of himself. And the scriptures say that the Lord works on the minds of the kings and the rulers. Roughly paraphrasing, he turns it as the rivers of water. All right, so the Lord is putting it in Putin's mind, man, to go back to that old USSR, Soviet Union type spirit. All right, with just death and destruction. All right, this is Ezekiel 38. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog," which is Russia, "the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." And when the scripture says put hooks in thy jaws and turn thee back, that's talking about bringing Russia back to that old war spirit. And you see how they're decimating and destroying Ukraine, man. Women, children, it don't matter. They dropping them bombs, man. That's the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So should you take Russia's nuclear threat real? Yes, you should. Yes, you should, because it's in the scriptures. All right. Let's go right here. Isaiah 9:5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood." All right. In the ancient days, wars were fought up close and personal. A bunch of men on a battlefield running down on each other. You had to get up and close and personal on whoever you were fighting a war against. Then it went from that to they had the muskets, the little guns. You would load a bullet at a time and shoot. You had the little knife on the end of it. Okay, it went from that to sniping. You got the military planes. Dropping bombs or whatnot. And then over time, as it progressed, it went from a bunch of men yelling and screaming on the battlefield. Garments rolled in blood, confused noise, and then it's gonna go from that to just burning and fuel of fire. All right, which will be nuclear missiles. Okay. This is Isaiah 34. And I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, Come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people. Let the earth hear it and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. The indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. All right. And that nuclear destruction is the righteous indignation of the Lord, man. That's that lake of fire, man. That's going to happen to America, man. It says, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out. Their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And it's talking about World War III. It says, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. Dissolved because of what? That nuclear destruction, that nuclear radiation. All right, that nuclear fire. It says, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's talking about that mushroom cloud. All right, let's take a look at it. When it rolls up, it rolls like a scroll. You can see it right there. Mushroom cloud. Should be rolled together as a scroll. And all the hosts of heavens shall be rolled together and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the tree. And you know anything about a fig tree, man, you barely got to shake it and the figs are gonna fall. So that's what's gonna happen to America. So, you know, should you take the threat of Russia's of nuclear war for seriously? Yes, you should, man. So that's why it makes no sense to try to forward yourself in this society, especially here in America, because everything you see, everything you own is going to be destroyed. So the only thing to do, man, is to seek salvation from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, that you may escape that day of destruction. So with that being said, I want to thank Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai for giving me the spirit to do this video. Lord's willing, may be edifying. So